Guess who's back? Here I am. I'm no expert, and I'm here to talk about UFC 246. So, UFC 246 took place Saturday, July 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It was headlined by Israel Adesanya versus Jared Canonier. How do you say it? You know the guy. So, here's what happened. We saw Donald Cerrone put his gloves on the mat and fight his last fight in the UFC in the octagon. He called it quits after losing via submission. We also saw ruthless Robbie Lawler get in there and put on what he does, another war, another battle, another brawl. It was vintage Robbie Lawler. Although he lost, it was no shortage of action. It was a barrage of combinations, two pieces and biscuits with an extra biscuit for the bread basket. It was a very entertaining fight, very competitive until Barberena decided to put his foot on the gas and just press forward, blitz, attack, and get the stoppage victory. Both men deserve, a lot of credit for the performance that they gave. You also had Max Holloway versus Alexander the Great Volkanovski, part 3. They got it on for the third time. A lot of people thought that possibly Holloway won the second fight. Myself included, thought you could have given him that decision. Well, this one, there was no question. There was no question at all that Alexander the Great is a superior fighter. I don't know if it was just a combination of Holloway being a little bit off, looking a little bit slow, and his timing being off. If that was the case, or why he looked not so great, or if it was just that, or a combination of Volkanovski just leveling up, like I had a couple people tell me, I heard some experts say it, a friend of mine, a couple friends of mine said it. They thought that Volkanovski had leveled up since his last fight with Holloway, and that was going to be the difference in that fight. And it showed. It wasn't even close. Where does Holloway go from here? He's had 3 cracks at Volkanovski. Can't solve that puzzle. And, essentially as long as Volk holds that belt, holds that strap, Holloway's he's not gonna be the king of that division. So what does he do? Then you had the main event. Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya versus Jared Canonier. Okay. Now, I'll call it this. It was a cautious clinic. Izzy put on a clinic, but it was very cautious. He provided a lot of nice techniques, a lot of subtle things that a lot of casual observers wouldn't realize possibly the greatness in the tactical prowess that Izzy was putting on display. But at the end of the day, he won. There was no question he won. He dominated the fight. But a lot of people are calling it a points performance. I'm saying it was a very underwhelming, very overly cautious performance. He didn't do anything to try to get rid of Jared Cannonier. He was picking his shots. He was avoiding the big shots, and his rival from the kickboxing days, Alex Pereira. Man, Brazil Portuguese are Pereira. That guy, the guy who knocked him out back in the kickboxing days, same guy who knocked cold Izzy out, also had a knockout performance, a very impressive knockout performance on the undercard when he defeated Sean Strickland with a beautiful left hook, right hand combination. Just cold. This dude was out. I mean, sure, he was still awake, but he was done. So that same guy, Alex Pereira, had an impressive knockout finish, positioning himself for the middleweight title shot. Whereas Izzy, he won. He withheld his title. There was no doubt about it, but it was very cautious, and some people might say boring, point fight style performance. Now, we've seen Izzy finish people, but he was very aware of the fact that Jared Canonier is a strong fighter and someone with the ability to finish himself. So he fought that way, cautious, clinical, measured. He unleashed a lot of nice techniques and things, but it didn't live up to the entrance that he made. The Undertaker with the hat and the music and the urn. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't put anybody in the dirt. Not even metaphorically speaking. Not that we want him to do that actually, but point is, Izzy declared that he was gonna put Alex Pereira to sleep next time they fight. Well, he seems to be a more dangerous striker than Jared Canonier is on the feet, and he was afraid to, rightly so, engage and stay in the pocket because he didn't want to get hit. Now he's going to go and fight a guy who has already defeated him by knockout, who seems to be a more dangerous fighter than Jared Cannonier definitely is as far as a stand-up striking is concerned. So I want to see what kind of adjustments Izzy's going to make in that fight. And is he doing like a lot of bravado and grandstanding to try to offset the knowledge that's in the back of his head, or maybe it's in the forefront of his mind, that this guy knocked him out before and just put on an impressive knockout on that very same card against a highly ranked Sean Strickland, who was on a 6-fight win streak, and put it on the line to fight an unranked fighter. A lot of people were underwhelmed with Izzy's performance. I don't think you could have took a casual observer who had never seen Izzy fight before and explained to him how he's one of the best that we've ever seen in MMA, and how they might be able to take that performance and translate that to that. They might say, yeah, he hit, didn't get hit, he looked good, he's got technique, but it wasn't an all-time great performance. Now, not every fight is going to be an all-time great performance, regardless of if it's an all-time great doing the fighting. But you tell me what you think. You tell me what you think. I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it. But I feel like Izzy being that far ahead of the competition, especially in that fight with Jared Cannonier, should have done more to try to